Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 432. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Happy beginning of the week. Happy Mother's Day. I know you guys probably aren't listening to this.
Shout out to all the moms.
That's okay. Yeah, big shout out to the moms.
Hey, it doesn't have to just be Mother's Day to shout out the moms.
That's true.
I'm just here to keeping it real.
Random love. Did you know I was born on Mother's Day? You know, it kind of like rotates
Moves around.
Yeah, I was born on Mother's Day. Name a better gift. Let's be real.
mean,
come on.
Nate Reyes emerging into the world. I don't think Mama Reyes could ask for anything better than that.
Not too shabby.
How about that? What a gift! You're a gift to our listeners. The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, I'll give you something. Don't know what. You might not like it.
You might have an apology. You might be giving an apology this episode. Who knows? Oh,
nah.
I don't know. Maybe a little teaser there.
Nah.
Maybe a little teaser of what's to come in episode 432. Speaking of episode 432, we are going to be talking Paul Skenes. We are going to be talking the Braves almost no-hitter that's not really a no-hitter. If you follow this podcast, you know exactly what we're referring to there. We're going to be talking a little bit of Mike Trout, some developments in that story that recently came about. We're going to be talking some Aaron Judge being back. We're going to talk, I had it listed as Guardian City Connect leak, but things have since changed. Apparently it's official. So we're going to talk a little bit of that, and then we're going to possibly revisit our running bet that we have going. But as I mentioned, starting off the top here, let's talk some Paul Skenes' debut, as that was the story of the weekend. Really, regardless what team you follow, I think this was the highlight of the weekend. I do know there were some Mother's Day walk-offs today. There were some big series wins today, but Saturday, as it were, Paul Skenes' debut, the story that everyone was waiting for, the debut that everyone was waiting for, and I don't know. It was a debut. It wasn't exactly Steven Strasburg debut quality, but it was a debut. There were some takeaways, some exciting takeaways. I think Livy Dunn was in attendance.
Sure.
For those of you that care about these types of things. There was a lot of triple digit fastballs.
Yep.
And there was some rain as well. So let's get into it. What were your takeaways? Because I know you were locked in. I this weekend was in Nashville, was out of town, but I was still able to have it up and visible. So I was able to catch the debut as well. Fortunately, he didn't go all 9, so I didn't have to be locked in for the entire game.
Right. I was kind of the same. Yeah.
So because I can assure you, once the debut was over, I was no longer watching the Pirates game.
Yeah.
But with that said, what were some of your takeaways?
I did feel bad that it was so like rainy and gloomy. It's just an insane day to look forward to. I'm gonna get the negatives out of the way. Let's get the negatives out of the way.
Okay.
I've never listened to the Pirates broadcasters before, but oh my, was that tough. It was tough, dude. Like, that's not good. It's like a golf broadcasting kind of monotone, no excitement. It was strange.
You got to bring
strange.
your A game on a day like that. Like you
And,
got to.
like, you know that the like other fans are like outside of the Pirates are watching this game. Like, you know, like, I'm not trying to sound like a homer here, because like I know that there's a lot of people that don't love Michael Kay. But like when Judge was chasing the 62 home run race, and like he was aware that people are viewing these games that ordinarily aren't going to watch these games. And there's a little bit of spunk, there's a little bit of pep in his step. There was no pep in the step for the Pirates broadcasters. So that that was one thing that stood out. But overall, like, they kept saying, they were like, it's May 11th. Look at this place. It's May 11th. You had lines out the door waiting to get into the stadium. You had signs all over the place. I mean, the whole stadium was jam-packed. We were lucky enough to give a couple fans an opportunity to join in. I think it was a birthday gift.
Early birthday gift, yep.
For a little man. So like that made me feel great. I'm sure it made you feel great too. Like it's just so good to see Pittsburgh and like Pirates fans excited about their team again. Like, it's good for baseball when you get this. And you and I got to like see and be somewhat attached. Obviously it happened after I moved, but like the easy comparison is the Strasburg debut and like just the hype. But like you get to see like a fan base that you're not used to seeing act this way, really step up and enjoy the moment, and like for the broadcast and like everyone to just recognize that this place is jamming on May 11th, like it was somewhat of a postseason type environment. So that alone, before the performance, like that alone is worth noting.
Dare I say, and I feel like maybe I'm just in a weird mood. I don't know, but this just came upon me. Would it be fair to say that like there shouldn't really be a fan base unless it's like unless we're talking like Yankees, Red Sox, or Dodgers, Padres, Dodgers, Giants, whatever. Unless it's just your absolute most hated fan base. It's really unfair to wish a full 162 on any fan base where there isn't just the slightest shining moment. Like, I wouldn't wish that upon any fan base. Like, I can really despise your team and what your team represents, but
to be like, miserable for all
collectively as baseball fans, that we at least have that in common, that like no matter how bad your team is, I think every fan base is entitled to at least just a one bright spot. And this may be it for the Pirates. Who's to say how the rest of the season plays out? But this might be the top of the mountain for Pirates fans. So to your point, it was good to see that buzz around PNC.
Yeah. Performance wise, I mean, I think the biggest thing for me, I was right about the 7 punchies, by the way. That was my one prediction that I got right. Fastball command didn't look great. It seemed like there was definitely some adrenaline pumping. You know what I mean? There was definitely some overthrown fastballs. It was the first time I heard. I may be late to the game here. I was aware of the fastball. I don't know if I was fully aware of the rest of the repertoire, but like the splinker.
It's not a pitch. I was waiting for you to say it. It's not a real pitch.
Why are we
need
doing
to stop. We need
why
to
are we
stop
doing that?
Stop the madness. Like we're still trying to wrap our heads around the sweeper movement, because that overnight took over baseball, and now every
feel like
pitch is a
fading.
sweeper. I
Is it
don't
not
think
fading?
so. I hear it every day. Every night that I'm watching baseball, I hear sweeper.
It's
on
a
pitches
slider.
that aren't even sweepers.
It's a slider. Yeah, just call it a slider. Yeah.
Don't know what the obsession is with sweeper. I think the and I'm
Now,
really
hold on. To devil's advocate, like we grew up, slurve was a very normal There was no animosity towards Swerve.
And I was just about to say before you mentioned that, I'm not trying to sound like an old head, but like I think there's an obsession. And it's really I can see this playing out generation after generation as baseball continues to age, as the game gets older and older and older. Sure, we're gonna see new things. We're gonna see things that have been done that have never been done before, but you're gonna start like running out of things to like leave your mark with, like on the game as a generation. And so I think this generation's like, ooh, here's an opportunity where we can inject some newness into the game by just, I don't know, making up pitch names, sweeper, and we're sweeper, splinker, and we're gonna run with it. I was willing to accept. I'm tired of it, but I was willing to accept it. But the splinker, I draw the line at splinker. What is a splinker? Is it not a ball? Honestly, genuine question. Is it not a ball with downward movement? A splitter, a sinker, both pitches have downward movement.
Yeah.
Swinging over top. What are we doing?
I would guess it's definitely a grip thing. I mean, like, to me, my impression of a splitter was definitely a slower fastball. A sinker, you still have fastball velocity that you're typically seeing, but you have a lot more of like this downward and out movement. A splitter, maybe a little bit more, it's less spin. So I don't know. I didn't really catch the velocity he was throwing that at. I don't know. Either way, he looked good. The changeup, is that his changeup? Is that what he uses as a changeup? Or does he still have a changeup?
That is a Kersplunky.
Yeah, sure. Heard of that before.
That is a curveball, splitter, sinker.
Yeah. Yeah. Or a splunky?
Screwball. Screwball.
Yeah,
that's what I was going for. It's a curveball, splitter, sinker, screwball. That's it says Kersplunky.
Yeah. Yeah. He is nasty. Don't get me wrong.
A Kersplunky is really only something you can throw with one of these things, if we're being honest. And if you're not watching on the YouTube or on our live stream, I'm holding a junk ball. That's a Kersplunky. Yeah, to your point, just about everything else in his repertoire looked good. It was just the fastball command was just not there. And I think coming into it, knowing he probably has to know within himself, like, this is my bread and butter here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to rely heavy on this. But if the nerves are playing any sort of factor, which you venture to say that they were, then maybe if the pitch that you're relying on the most is going to be the one that's affected the most because you're trying to hit your spots.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, like obviously starting pitchers, they have their routine. They have what they're used to on pitch day. This is all new, right? Like, and on top of all the lights, on top of all the attention, on top of, everyone being excited for you walking into a new locker room, you're putting on a new jersey, you're going into a new bullpen, you're talking to a new pitching coach, you're talking to a lot of new guys during this routine that you're trying to implement in a new place and new environment, on top of being, one of the most hyped debuts we've seen in a decade plus. So it's a lot going on. I wouldn't be nervous. I don't think any Pirate fan in the world is nervous. I don't think there's any reason to be nervous. Like, it's still a pretty decent outing. Pitch count got a little high, but like, hey, it's all good. I think there was a lot of excitement. Blue fastballs, and he made quite a few guys look a little silly. Say Suzuki was like, what was that? It's cool to see, man. It's cool to see.
The thing that came to mind when I was watching that slider and the Kersplunky that he was throwing, was the phrase, if you're familiar with changeups, pull the string.
Yeah.
And you really only see that with changeups from just about any guy that takes them out. But I felt that same sort of feeling watching his slider just absolutely buckle guys the same way an effective change up down and away or tailing in on a guy's shins. It had that same effect, that same feel as I was watching it, and I realized that I had never thought to label a breaking pitch as something that could, in theory, pull the string the same way a changeup does, because that slider was just making guys look silly. And I get it. If you're sitting on 102,
that's what I'm
you're
saying.
gonna look like a fool.
I watched the College World Series last year, and I was like, I was aware, like enter in the Shaq meme. Like, I wasn't familiar with your game. Like, I knew he was good. This stuff to me was insane. Like, I get it. I get it. You throw in 102 and then you have that kind of velocity drop, that kind of movement. I feel like he's a true 4-pitch guy, and all of them are plus pitches. Like, this is going to be special. Just please stay healthy, take care of him, extend him for a decent amount of money if you can. Do what you need to do. Keep him in black and yellow. Build around him. Nicely.
For the record, he reached at least 117 times. So of his 84 pitches, give or take a quarter of them were 100 plus.
Yeah, I mean, they kept showing the graphic. He's of all major leaguers and minor leaguers this year, he is the highest average fastball of everyone.
I saw
a lot of guys.
I saw something. It was just in passing, so I may just be butchering this, but it was something like in the first 2 innings of an outing, or just in general, like this season, starting pitchers in the first 2 innings of their outings this season, how many of those were 100-mile-an-hour plus? And like, you had a few guys in there that were like 4, 5, 6, 7, because like most starting pitchers are going to be like mid to upper 90s, because we don't see a guy like Paul Skenes every day. And I think Paul Skenes total, just in one outing, his first major league outing, like more than tripled the rest of the list.
Yeah.
Like the guys on the list, just in one outing. So to your point about staying healthy, I think this is special, and I certainly do not want to wish anything negatively upon him. But it's the same kind of concern with a guy like Mason Miller, where it's like, this is special. And you just hope that a guy who's in a different position than a guy like Mason Miller, as a starter who's going to give you more innings,
yes,
you just hope that again, to reference our friend of the pod, Dallas Braden, you just hope that frame, that build can handle that kind of horsepower over the course of however long he ends up going this year, and really throughout the course of his career, because he is a special guy. Did you by chance catch any, or did you have any takeaways on his demeanor at all throughout the day? Because I was watching relatively closely before the game. I tried to catch as much of the pregame show for the Pirates as I could, and they were showing him coming out of the dugout, him doing his work out in the outfield, and then obviously throughout the game, and even after his outing, he just seemed very, what's the word? Just level-headed, even-keeled. He wasn't,
he's a cool customer, bro.
Showing very little emotion. To the point, like, I didn't even really see him crack a smile until he got the Gatorade bath.
I was gonna say, I saw a couple smiles before the game. Like him, it showed him like walking into the clubhouse. He had a suit on, like a couple smiles as he's seeing people. But who knows? You know what I mean? Like he could be the Max Scherzer type of like, don't talk to me during my start.
Sure.
I am locked in. But I again, like I think there are names, and I'm not going to sit here and say I've paid attention to every draft, but I think there are names where you see a 1-1 and you're like, you're a different 1-1. You know what I mean? Like we've seen like a high school shortstop go 1-1 and you're like, he's in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like how is this going to translate? Seeing 95 every day, because you don't get that in high school. This to me was like Skenes is like the most complete package 1-1. And that means like not just arm talent, it's like a up here kind of thing. Like it's confidence. You can tell that it's somewhat reserved, but there is this swagger at the same time. I'm super impressed. He's must watch TV, dude. And I love that he's immediately, I love that he didn't go lights out. I love that it wasn't 2 innings. It was like this perfect in between of like, you got humbled a little bit, but at the same time, you didn't have all your best stuff. Like we're going to see a start from him this year. That's, a dominant double-digit strikeout, 1 earned or less, 6+. Like we're going to see that at least once soon. And I think it's because of what he's got up top in the noggin. Like he is a cool customer.
To kind of put a bow on this, did you by chance see the tweet from Joey Votto after the fact?
I did, yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. He said, watching Skenes reminds me of facing Strasburg after his call-up. I took a fastball in my first AB, looked up and saw 100 on the board. I thought, uh-oh, the next pitch, the best curveball I'd ever seen. Gulp. Same could be said about the changeup later. I was like, and then he put a little frowny face emoji. This beautiful game keeps moving forward.
Yeah. And that was, 15 years ago? 14 years ago? So... yeah, man, just stay healthy. Stay healthy. Keep the mustache clean. Did you see real quick, did you see the Livy interview?
I saw she said something along the lines of like, nothing can top this or whatever. I thought,
She started off by saying they missed the call for the call-up.
Yeah, said they were napping, whatever that means. I'm not gonna.
I think we all know.
I'm not gonna dive into their personal lives. That's not my place.
I'll say it. We all know what that means.
Stop. No, stop. We're not gonna put that. For all we know, maybe they were napping. I'm just a little skeptical. Not my place to speculate.
I saw a comment. No. I saw a comment below that.
Let's keep it. This is a family show. This is a family show. Let's keep it clean.
Comment was like, bro, we would have all let it go to voicemail.
Okay. All right. On the Livy Dunn, Paul Skenes thing, and then we'll put a bow. This will be the putting the bow on it. I want to pull it up because I want to make sure I reference what I said because it was over the weekend. But it was along the lines of like the comparison of this being baseball's version of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, whatever. So I said, y'all better get ready for MLB's take on Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Can't run now. It's here. Because MLB, their official account, has posted about it on multiple occasions with, Livy Dunn, part of the mix.
Meanwhile, Zuno goes like 4 years without getting a post.
Yeah, which is a whole nother thing. And that's actually a good segue because we got to talk Braves here now. Look, Braves fans getting upset about the Ozuna thing, and I get it. I've seen the screenshots of posts on like Ohtani and other names around, like even the Mets getting some exclamation points. To your credit, though, I will say, if you remove the individual from the equation, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, Braves fans are upset that Marcell Ozuna is getting little to no attention from we'll call it mainstream baseball media, specifically MLB's social media accounts. Despite having a fantastic start to the year, I think I just saw that he's like the fastest Braves player since like Hank Aaron to reach 40 RBIs in a season. So elite company.
Yeah.
But and basically what Braves fans are saying, they're taking screenshots of different posts of different stars around the league who are also playing, you know, Mookie, Shohei, other guys like that, and citing various posts regarding walk-off wins and things like that. And they're comparing, they're honing in on the punctuation, which I think is fascinating. As somebody who does social media for a living, they're on to something, because a lot of people who don't necessarily understand the art of crafting social media posts, they just look at that and go, okay, so they use an exclamation point for a post about Mookie and they didn't for Marcell Ozuna. So what? Just know, and I do it for a living. I'm not going to sit here and call myself a pro's pro, but just know that no social media post put out by a major organization like that is done haphazardly. Every post that's put out is done with intent. And if there's a period put at the end, which that if you're on social media, periods are being ushered out. Like those periods, like that's
pretty
the thing.
negative. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, people associate it with like boomers and texting, like the way they use punctuation. So periods are being ushered out. So if a major organization who posts everything with intent is using periods in their post, just know that it's done with intent. So Braves fans, you're right on that. But at the end of the day, bringing the individual back into the picture, you have to understand why Major League Baseball has kind of gone radio silent on Marcell Ozuna over the last handful of years. It makes sense. We understand it. With that said, though, talking Braves, Max Fried and company, I'll include, almost had a no-hitter over the weekend against the Mets. Came down to a JD Martinez home run with, I believe, it was 2 outs in the ninth, and JD said, "Not on my watch." But look, this is just another opportunity to remind the people. If you're new to our show, welcome. But if you're wondering if you're wondering about our thoughts on no hitters and what constitutes a no hitter is when a single individual takes the ball for the start and then proceeds to throw 9 innings of no-hit baseball. That's a no-hitter. A combined no-hitter is not a no-hitter. It's a no-hitter, but it's not a no-hitter. If you know, you know. And people always say, "What are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense." My response to that, if it's a no-hitter, then who gets credited with the no-hitter? I've said that countless times on here, but I just need to reiterate, maybe if you forgot or if you're new, if it's a no-hitter, if you truly believe a combined no-hitter is a no-hitter, then who gets credited with the no-hitter? It's not a no-hitter. It's a no-hitter, but it's not a no-hitter. All right, I need to stop saying no-hitter. But main takeaways here. Continuing to move the needle forward for Max Fried, who, again, had a little bit of a slower start than maybe some of his counterparts across the league, his ace/number 1 counterparts. But a fantastic outing for him. An added element to the Braves-Mets rivalry. I don't care which fan base wants to pretend that it's not a rivalry. We know that these teams hate each other, so let's not act like it's a big brother, little brother thing here. I mean, sure, in terms of standings it is, but you both care just as much as the other team does. So it's not them being a little brother. That's not what it's about. All in all, though, one of the other takeaways from this weekend. I mean, there's really only so much you can say about an almost combined no-hitter.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Mets black unis while I'm thinking of it?
What did they change? It's like the orange outline.
They got rid of the white. They got rid of the white in the outline, and then they made the lettering.
I think they're still okay. They're still clean. I wouldn't say they're as clean. They're still clean.
Yeah. I mean, that's just another instance of why fix it if it's not broken.
Yeah.
And here we have Andrew in the chat saying, as one of the biggest Braves fans in your fan base, I wasn't even slightly excited about the combined no-no. The almost combined no-no, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. It's take that as you will. It's certainly an encouraging step forward for that staff. Like, that's a great takeaway. And
Fried's
who knows?
Gonna get paid, dude. If he can stay on this, he's gonna get paid. If he can keep this going. I'm a little confused as to why the Braves aren't. Like, why aren't there bigger conversations there?
There might be some concerns with
a little butthurt about the injuries, I think, maybe.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it butthurt. I would just call it like a smart business move to maybe proceed with caution when dealing with a guy like Max Fried.
Sure.
I mean, look, I'm not Alex Anthopoulos here, but even to dumb it down to the level of like fantasy baseball, I like there are really no stakes there, all things considered. Like, comparatively to major, like running an actual franchise, there's really no stakes in running a fantasy baseball team. But even somebody like me is hesitant to like look for a trade for a guy like Max Fried, because it's like how much you're gonna get out of him. Like, can he stay healthy? So it's like if that's how a fantasy baseball owner, and I'm not saying I'm every fantasy baseball owner, but like for me, if that's how I'm thinking, it's possible that they're thinking the same way when dealing with millions of dollars and multi-year future.
I spent a lot of hours on my lineup, so I think it's the same.
You're right. The stakes are, you could argue, higher.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of bathroom visits have been filled with lineup time. So
we've got some good prizes down. Waiting for the Final Four. That's all
we do. I did grab a little nugget that I saw. It's maybe a little bit of an ESPN nugget, but it is what it is. Max Fried is the first Braves pitcher with 2 6+ inning no-hit bids in a 3-start span in a single season since Kevin Millwood of 1999. So hot lately. You like to see it. And again, I think it's the best case scenario when Strider goes down. Somebody that has that stuff. Somebody that can step into that 1-1 role. Right? Like, you gotta feel pretty good. Like, it's not too many teams out there could be like, you just lost a potential Cy Young winner this year. And then you have the blow softened by a Max Fried. I think it's kind of nice. Braves fans, stay winning, dude. Like, they have nothing to complain about ever. So,
speaking of complaining, I have a slight complaint, or really it's a question. Is Paige in the other room streaming like 64 movies at once? Because I gotta say, your internet
is it bad?
Right now,
that's crazy.
I mean, it's like 3 pixels.
I'll show you.
You look like a Minecraft character.
Oh boy. I think I'm gonna have to switch internets.
I mean, not to draw attention to it, but
it's popping off right now when you do the test. Popping off.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's going on with your internet, but
I don't know either. I have 590 megabits per second going right now.
That means nothing to me. I don't know if that's good or bad.
That's fast. I think we got some Gotta have some nerds in here that know what that means. That's fast.
I'll take your word for it.
Upload speed of 30. Also fast.
Doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, just needed to address it.
To answer your question, I think it's either Hawaii Life on Hulu or there's a Disney Plus classic Disney movie going on back there. One of the two.
I can understand it. I can't judge.
Yeah.
I respect it. Mike Trout. Some recent developments over the weekend regarding his injury that apparently he still doesn't even know how he got. Like, we're how many weeks deep into this now?
I don't know. I'm over it.
Months, it feels like. Apparently was given, he was given the option to DH for the rest of the year. And he said, no, I'm going to opt for the surgery. I don't necessarily feel one way or another towards it, but I felt like it was worth addressing, worth bringing up, because I just feel like the Angels as a franchise have had some, I don't know, like, is intimate the right word? Like, things deserving to stay behind closed doors, conversations of that nature made public. And I just feel like this was something that maybe was better off left unsaid. Where it's like, okay, we process the fact that we're losing out on Mike Trout, a well-swinging Mike Trout, as he was off to a rather hot start, at least in the home run category. We had processed, as Angels fans, as baseball fans, we had all kind of collectively processed the fact that, all right, we lost out on this guy yet again. And then to come back and hear that, okay, he was given a choice. He said, I don't want to play. It's I don't know. I don't want to compare him to Anthony Rendon, but it's just, it's giving me Anthony Rendon vibes where, you know, I'm not expecting him to play. Like, if the tear is that bad of the meniscus, I'm not going to sit there and be like, why isn't he out there playing? But I don't know. I just feel like this was, going back to my original point, I feel like this would have been left better unsaid, because now it's like, well, where's his effort? Where do his efforts really lie? And like, does he actually want to be out there playing if given the opportunity to play at a lesser availability as a DH? I don't know. It feels weird to me, and I hate that this came out. Does that make sense? Is like what I said makes sense, or am I going crazy?
Yeah, I mean, I understand. What am I missing here?
I don't know.
That there was an option to not do surgery and play like half okay, or do surgery and you're for sure out. Like, what am I missing here? What was like the actual like, how did this get out? Was this a tweet? Was this like a leaked per source type thing? You know, because like I looked up Passan, I didn't see anything from Passan.
No, let's get to the bottom of this.
How confirmed was this? Where I remember seeing something about it, but I don't know if it was from like a legit source. You know what I mean?
I mean, he put out the post, he put out the tweet, or it may have been on a story as well. I don't know, but he put out on May 4th, so a week and a day or so plus. He said, "Thank you for all your support and encouragement. The surgery on my knee went well, and I'm now focused on a speedy recovery. Looking forward to getting back out there as soon as possible." So that was on the 4th, and then I don't know. It must have been reported, because as you know, Mike Trout is not active really on social media except tweeting plane emojis when they're going on a road trip.
So weird when that was happening.
So that's really all we've heard about. But so it must have been reported, and like, again, ultimately, it's not a huge deal, because if if and when he comes back this year, like we'll forget this even happened. It's just it's for me at least. I'm not saying I'm not speaking for everybody. For me at least, it speaks to the whole MO of the Angels that seems to be conversations being made public that really shouldn't be made public, handlings of injuries in just the weirdest of ways. I don't know. Like why was Mike Trout even given the option? Like if you're the Angels and he has a torn meniscus, like if it's bad enough to where he can't play, and we know this dude's history, why is he even being given the option to DH? Who is that benefiting?
I've had a torn meniscus, and that sucked. So, the biggest decision, and like, here's where things could be affected long term. And I'm saying this from firsthand experience because, like, I had a bucket handle tear in my meniscus. I did it playing baseball. They give you two options with a meniscus, unlike the other tendons. It's either fix it and repair it, but you have a longer recovery time. Like you have to be off of it. You can't really, like, you have to be immobilized. Like it has to be repaired. It takes time. Or it's scoop it out. You don't technically need the meniscus. Let's just scoop it out. And that is where the long-term issues come in. My doctor, where I was lucky enough to do like I had the Broncos surgeon when I was in Denver. And he was like, you're going to have arthritis if we scoop it out. Like that's coming. But like, if you're going to continue to be an athlete and trying to do stuff, like it could feel like crap quicker than you think. So that's what I'm curious of is if he does do the surgery, like, is it repaired or are they scooping it out? But overall with this, yeah, I agree. This is all weird. Like, I don't understand. I know different tears are different for different people, but like, I don't know, dude. I couldn't walk. Like I was trying to pull my cleat off and it felt like someone was pulling my leg off. It was, I don't know.
He was quoted as saying it was an option in regards to giving the option to DH. He said it was an option that they put out there, they being the team. It would have been just maintaining the pain level of it. He said the day I got the MRI and it showed that I was in a lot of pain, it would have been a tough road for the rest of the year to bear that. And for people saying, well, to my question, like, who is that benefiting if he's just DHing? Like,
why is
and
this a conversation?
he's on one leg. Who is this benefiting? I have the answer for you because you go, well, it would benefit the team because Mike Trout was playing so well. Got a little nugget here for you. In 1,518 career games, he has been the DH only 81 times and is hitting .214. So that's multi-leveled there. One, you're getting a guy who doesn't perform the same when he's just DHing. He's one of those guys that has to be fully immersed into the game on both sides of the ball to be fully there, it seems.
81 games is a fair amount of
exactly
decent sample size.
Yeah. And not all guys are like that. Some guys like just being a DH, and that's where they focus. I mean, look at what Shohei's doing. Yeah. But you're not only getting a guy who's clearly worse as a DH, you're getting a guy who would be a DH on one leg. So I don't know. It's just a weird
That's
thing.
what I was trying to ask of like why was this question asked? Was this a question that like was this some type of report that was leaked out of the Angels organization to a reporter? Like, why was this ever on the table? Because like otherwise the Angels have no need to come forward with this. If he does opt for the surgery, it's like, don't say there was another option. It's not, I don't think it's important or relevant or productive.
You want to talk
about
about
your surgery.
You want to talk about productive. We have arrived at this point in the program where I think
No.
the listeners
No.
need to collectively come together. We need to band together to demand an apology from Mr. Nate Reyes
No.
addressed to Mr. Joe Adell.
No.
At what point is the apology coming? Because he
Never.
deserves it.
I didn't
He deserves
apologize
it.
to Albert Pujols. I'm not about to
Which
apologize
was
to.
wild how we didn't get an apology. I think you maybe had said something, but it was the most
think I wore a
half-hearted,
tie.
sarcastic. Yeah, it was the most half-hearted, sarcastic apology in the history of apologies. And that's saying something because we've seen some
Yeah.
pretty bad apologies out there.
And Joe Adell's a bonehead. I'm not apologizing to anybody.
Dude,
I'm not.
he's like
enter the
the
Conor McGregor meme. I'm.
apologizing to nobody. I get that.
That's not going to happen.
But he's like the best player on the team, which is sad. But I mean, he's in the mix. He's in the conversation.
Have you seen? Because all we're seeing is highlights of him hitting, and we all knew he could hit. Have you seen him play defense? Have you seen him run the bases this year? It's insane what he does on the base paths. It's hard to watch.
I don't care about that.
It's hard to watch.
I demand
No,
an
dude.
apology.
No,
I demand
because he's
an
hitting
apology.
260. No,
64. He's hitting 264. He has 7 home runs,
that's fine.
18 ribbies, an OPS of 873, and he has an OPS plus of 142. And he's just heating up. He's just heating up.
I'm not apologizing.
This man, Nate, has been, if you're unfamiliar with this, Nate has been hating on Joe Adell for years.
So
years.
so random too. Like I don't even know that much about him. I don't.
Yeah,
care.
there was just, I don't know what it was. There was just a day where Nate picked up his banner, his like anti Joe Adell banner, and was like, I'm going to fly this for as long as I live.
Because
And
we kept hearing about him, and then I was like, "What's so special? I'm not seeing it." And I didn't
he was
see it
like,
for the first couple
he's-
call ups.
he's not a top prospect. I'm done hearing about it. This guy stinks.
I think that's
And-
when we went to the Angels Stadium in spring training. I think that's what it was.
It may have been. Yeah, he may have been a little influenced by our visit. I don't know. But it was so unnecessary. Like if you just said in passing, like, yeah, I don't really think Joe Adell's all that great, I wouldn't, me and the listeners wouldn't be demanding an apology. But you have been actively rooting against this guy. Like actively rooting against this guy.
No,
and now he's
I don't
playing
get the hype.
He's playing adequate ball. So, like, what more is this? Okay, let me ask you this question: At what point, what level of performance would warrant an apology? Because you barely apologized to a shoe-in Hall of Famer in Albert Pujols. So, is Joe Adell going to have to go on to be like the next Willie Mays to maybe get a consideration from you years down the road? I don't know.
If he hits 260 or above with over 850 OPS and over 20 jacks this year, then I'll apologize. Those are my stipulations.
Well, he's well on the way. He's well on the way to that because he's hitting 264. He's got an 873 OPS, and he's how many jacks? You say 20? Okay. Well, he has nearly 7, and it's middle.
I've also seen this guy look like Giancarlo Stanton at times. So like I know where the streaks are coming.
That's fair.
If you've ever watched the guy try and run bases, like there's literally clips of Ron Washington being like, "What are we
I
doing?"
get it. In fact, we may have even referenced in one of those incidents on here.
Yeah.
Recently, so I get that. I'm not trying to justify the rest of his game. I'm just saying.
I'm not apologizing till the end of the season.
Okay. Well, I'm not even going to remember it by the end of the season. So unless I make put some sort of
You can write it down.
I'll
If there's
put
any
some sort of
Angels
reminder.
fans in here, doubtful. But if there are any in here,
Okay.
feel free to
All
mix
right.
in write it down. Keep the receipts.
Hey, talking about keeping receipts, there's some haters out there of Aaron Judges that need to need to acknowledge the receipts a little bit. They need to
including
come forward.
some Yankee fans too.
Yeah,
Yankee fans.
They need to step forward and admit their faults and their wrongs here, because I hate to say it, but Aaron Judge is back.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you care to expand?
It was just a matter of time. And I, again, like, I don't know what that point, I don't think it's fair to say there's a universal point where if you miss spring training time, you get this much time in the regular season. And at that point, you should be who you are. I know I said like last week that like my rule is by the end of May, I think we kind of see who you are for the year as a hitter. Even as a starter, like you're at that point, like 10, 11 starts in, like I think we see who you are. So I don't think it's fair to say like, hey, he missed a chunk of spring training, but he had all of April to figure it out and he still didn't figure it out. I don't know. I don't think there's a rule. The truth is, the guy just didn't seem right. His timing was a little off. It wasn't anything different mechanically. Like he hasn't changed anything. I think I saw something. They did a breakdown on MLB Network where like over the last 3 years, what his slugging percentage was with pitches in the middle of the zone. And the slugging was like 1,200, 1,300. Like all of them were above 1,000, which is insane for just slugging, not OPS. It was just slugging of pitches down the middle. This year it was like slugging was like in the 400s with pitches down the middle. And you see the drop off and you're like, that's still crazy because that's still not even that bad. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden you saw him flip a switch. All it takes when you catch him starting go the other way, when you see home runs the other way, he'll work his way up, because early in the season was a lot of rollovers. It's this stat that we all know. He's leading the league in double plays. And it's this roll over the shortstop, and all of a sudden you'll watch ground balls to the second baseman, then line drives over the second baseman, then a home run to right field, and then you'll sprinkle in a absolute tank job that was 470 to left center. And you're like, I think you're back, sir. And it's been against some dudes. It's been against some guys. Why am I blanking on who he did it last week? It's a really good starter. Who was this? What was the series before the Rays? It was in Yankee Stadium. I don't remember. Tigers? It was Skubal. That's who it was. It was Skubal. Once he took Skubal Yard to right field, it was like, all right, then it's just been poured on since. And yeah, like all the guys, all the Yankees fans that are like, move Soto down to the 3 spot, switch them, get Judge some more protection, like all this stuff. It's just been pitch selection. It's just been getting on time and making pitchers pay for those pitches in the middle.
I don't like randomly inserting tangents like this, but I know I'm going to forget about it. But you mentioned dudes. And I'm not saying this guy is a dude. I think it's well documented that the career has taken a dip and we don't know if it's coming back up. But we're all about accountability on this podcast. And I won't speak for you, but I got to put the hand up and acknowledge, because we kick him when he's down. He had a good outing today, so we have to acknowledge it. Alek Manoah.
There you go. I was wondering if this was coming, because like if you're pushing me for an apology, I don't know. I feel like you've been a lot harder on Alek Manoah than I have.
The Joe Adele just slander. It's very pointed, very targeted for some reason. Random. I don't know why. Don't know where it came from. Don't know what it stemmed from. But we're both on the same page. Like, I don't have anything against Joe Adele. I mean, I agree with you on certain points about his career trajectory and all that. But you and I are both on board that Manoah is all but washed.
Yeah.
So I think we both have to maybe put our hands up on this one and say,
I got it. Let's
he
do
had
it
a good
together.
start. He
We'll
had
do
a
it
good
together.
start. He had a good start. Hey,
All but that. I think it was just a
in
3-run shot that he gave up in the 7th. Like that was like the only blemish.
but why am I seeing? And I'm asking this because I certainly didn't spend any time driving down the road today watching an Alek Manoah start. Even if
Me
I
neither.
wasn't on a 10-hour road trip, I wasn't going to tune into an Alek Manoah start. But why am I seeing that he gave up 3 runs, but none of it? He had no earned runs. Was it a home run?
Could have been. It was a home run. I for sure know that. I'm trying to remember who hit it. Who are they facing? Who they play?
Am I losing my mind? How can you give up a?
The only thing is I can think of like if there's 2 outs and there's an error. Like I think
it's
whatever the
it's
guy
possible it
does
wasn't a 3-run
after
home
that
run.
doesn't do it. I thought I saw the highlight. Who'd they face? Twins.
Oh, the team. Yeah, sorry, I blanked out. The Twins. Yeah, they're playing Twins.
Carlos Santana. Yeah. Yeah. 4 hits, no earned runs. Who the heck did he hit it off of? What's happening here?
You mean who hit it off of him?
No, Carlos Santana hit it. I just want to see why. Was it off of him? And if so, please hold. Let me mute this puppy. No commercials here. No free ads.
No free ads. Not in this place.
Did you see the cornrows? Braids?
I did.
I hate it.
Hey man, whatever works, man. Whatever you gotta do to get the mojo back. I mean, I'm not gonna
first
judge.
and third. There's a 2-0 count, 2 outs off of Manoah. 3-run shot.
I don't know. Either way, all in all, pretty good day, pretty good bounce back. So I'm on record now. That can't be held against me. I'm on record now as acknowledging that Alek Manoah, despite our many grievances, had a good outing.
It looked like a backup slider that was like 3 inches off the plate, and he pulled to right center. So not even like that. You can't even be upset about that. Whatever. They still lost. Can't stand the Blue Jays anyway.
Can you stand the Guardian City Connect unis?
Unpopular opinion. I kind of like them, dude.
I kind of like them too.
Oh,
I
first
kind of
time.
like them.
No gradient color fade and no colored pants.
How about it? And I gotta say, like, this is a weird, like, I mean, I'm not saying people that didn't play baseball can't have the same opinion, but for me, it goes back to like something I would have liked when I was playing.
Mm-hmm. I would have wore that.
But the piping,
yeah,
like it's very like oddly specific. But the I saw that a lot of people were comparing it to the piping that they used in the Major League movie.
that's exactly what I thought the second I saw it.
Love it, dude. The
second I saw it.
The tricolor or whatever piping. Ooh, that looks clean. That looks clean.
I would have liked to see. My only issue is I would have liked to seen a different hat logo.
Yeah, agreed.
You can't. That's such a cop out because that's the same. That's the same C, right? It's no different than the other C's they put on.
Yeah.
Their other hats. I would have liked to seen something. And like I understand PR wise if you don't want to go back to like an Indian reference, but like you could have thrown in something for the spiders in there. You know what I mean? Like something could have been done.
Yeah, but
with
we've talked about
logo.
that. The spiders were cheeks, man.
I know.
I mean, the
but,
spiders were booty meat.
I don't know. Still something of Cleveland, but the C, yeah, I wasn't a fan of the C. But the overall jersey worked for me. The overall uniform, the pants, the piping is
It
top
looks
tier.
great.
The piping's top tier.
Hey, we're all about accountability this episode. You know, Nike's been, or whoever, I don't care anymore. Whoever's responsible for making these
not a
freaking
person.
fanatics, whoever's truly at the end of the day responsible for designing these things, Nike, fanatics.
I blame AI.
Some 12-year-old over in China. I don't know, dude. They got some shady business going on in Nike. I don't know who's designing these uniforms, but it's been L after L, it seems, for the majority of these uniforms. But you know, this most recent drop, the Guardians, they did well.
Also, I didn't know Kid Cudi was from Cleveland, so learned something new there too.
Oh, they lean into that all the time. They make that known.
You only have so many. You know what I mean? It's either Braun or somebody else. I can't name anybody from Cleveland. Yeah. I guess the Kelsey brothers.
I think hold on, stand by. One of my favorite actors is wait, no, he's not from Cleveland. Why is he a Cleveland fan? Tom Hanks. I remember watching a game last year where they had him up in the booth and he was talking. Is he a? And that's right. He also like voiced. He was in when they unveiled the Guardians team name. He was, I think, one of the voiceovers for that video. There's some sort of connection there. I don't know, but yeah.
Favorite Tom Hanks movie? Go.
Saving Private Ryan. I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't top that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my only question about the jersey is not really a complaint. It's more of a question. I saw that they were trying. They were with certain elements of the uniform trying to draw connections to the Guardians or the Indians of the 90s. And I'm like,
the piping gave me that feel.
No, but like I think they actively they included that in their verbiage that like they were trying to make. It wasn't like speculation. I think they actively said that they were like trying to draw connections or parallels to the 90s. But I'm like, that's not like a City Connect thing though. Like I'm all for it because the 90s Indians were elite. So I'm not like hating on the fact that they're trying to like bring that era back through these uniforms. But
man,
it's like
it gets me going. My juice is flowing a little bit with some names that are just ooh, man. Some Tommy days.
Albert Bell, Manny Ramirez. The team was elite. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just like, that's not really like a city thing. It's more of like a franchise thing. I don't know. It wasn't a complaint. It was more of just a question. That's all.
Also, like, I don't know if I've said this before, but like, do the sponsorship patches really need to be on those too? Like, can we relax?
Yeah.
Can we just relax?
They do. You and I both know that they have to be on there. And it's silly to even ask.
So are we done? Was that like, or is it just Yankees A's that are like boycotting them?
I think we got to be close, right?
Who are we missing? Have the Cardinals done one? I don't think the Cardinals have done one.
I usually can find like a checklist when I search it. I can't seem to find one right now, but
I'll look it up.
But yeah, we gotta be close. There's maybe like one left this year.
I feel like it's the Cardinals.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Cardinals. Yeah, we haven't seen one from the Cardinals yet, unless I'm losing my mind. And I think after that, we got to be nearing the finish line.
Here we go. There we go. Nope, that's last year. Keep going. Move forward. Oh, here we go. Yeah. We got Cardinals on May 20th. So that's coming up.
Oh, shoot, sure is.
It had the Guardians listed on May 17th. So that was for sure a leak. And then just like, good for the organization recognizing the leak and just being like, whatever, let's just release it early. Yeah, we got Cardinals May 20th, Blue Jays May 30th.
Ooh, okay.
Twins June 14th, Dodgers June 21st.
Oh, right. The Dodgers are doing like a revamp or whatever.
Yep.
Good on them for recognizing that the first The first attempt sucked.
Not good.
Hey, speaking of sucked, the A's have been, talk about booty meat. The A's have been straight booty meat since we started this little wager. Let me check what the latest is. They're halfway through their 14 game stretch, and they are 2-5. So some quick math here. They would have to go 5-2 this week.
Yep.
Right?
How you feeling, pal? How you feeling, pal?
Well, let me check. Who do we? I say we. Who do we? The Oakland A's have coming up?
Astros.
Do they really?
Yep. And
yep.
then
Starts Monday. And then we got the Royals on the road. Oh man, we're on the road for the next 6 games.
Let me see.
That's like 90% of the remainder of the wager. We got 3 against the Astros on the road, 4 against the Astros on the road. Oh, shoot. We're on the road for I keep saying we. The A's are on the road for the next 7 games for the remainder of the wager. 4 in Houston, 3 in Kansas City. I'm toast, dude. I'm going to be wearing this gold polo and this green visor, Billy Bean style.
How many episodes is that going to be? That's going to be a lot of episodes, dude.
All right, let's see.
This is my favorite wager we've ever done. I know I had to sing Neil Diamond back in
episode
season 1
like
of this
3, I think.
Yeah, dude.
Don't go back to that if you
please
if you listen to this.
please don't.
He
Please don't
brought
go
it
back.
up. All right, so let's just say, I mean, I know they're gonna have probably an off day sprinkled in there, right? So let's just say we'll just say we'll know officially by the second recording next week. So we'll put that at the 22nd.
Well,
So
yeah.
10 days. We'll know for sure, and I will have ordered the thing by then. So I will begin.
We could know by Wednesday.
True.
Because they play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If they lose all 3, that'll be 5:00 Pacific time.
That's true. We could know by Wednesday.
We could find out
But let's
during recording Wednesday if they go for 3.
Let's just, for hypothetical, let's just say they run the course here. They run it for a week.
They go
and
7-0.
We'll know by the. Well, no, I'm saying if they took it to 5, if they took it to the 14th game, like as the decider.
Oh yeah.
We'll know by the 22nd. So I will begin wearing it if I lose by the 26th. Our recording on the 26th.
All right.
So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, give or take 13 episodes. Possibly 14 if they just poop the bed.
That's so delightful.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out my Twitter account. The apparel, the outfit is on there. You'll see it. What I will have to wear if the A's don't step up their crap over the next week.
13 episodes. That is awesome. This is my favorite bet. This is a good bet.
We just need to keep it rolling after that. Like we need to come up with something new. Like I'm gonna become a degenerate by season's end. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah, a degenerate that looks like Billy Bean with no eyebrows, because that's gonna be the next.
Okay, all right. Well, don't know if we can top that one. All right, so quick thing before we get out of here. If you're listening to this and you're a fan of a team that maybe has a dude or a storyline going on right now that has yet to be addressed by us, I do apologize. There's been a lot of moving parts, a lot of traveling, at least on my behalf, and obviously Nate's still somewhat fresh off of the honeymoon. He's getting a little more into the swing of things.
I'm easing back in.
easing back into it, but there are certainly some dudes around the league right now that I just didn't get a chance to pull numbers on this weekend because I was in Tennessee for the whole weekend. So I do apologize for that, but you have my word. I'll be bringing some nugs next episode. We're gonna talk about some dudes. We're gonna talk about some dudes on Wednesday.
I like it.
You got anything else for the people before we get out of here?
Yeah, dude, just another shout out to moms. Just another big shout out, especially baseball moms. I think you and I have an obvious soft spot there. Moms that just, they never missed a practice. They never missed a game.
Always had the Gatorade.
Never failed to get the grass stains out of the pants. Like, just big shout out to the moms. And yeah, man, that's I love every year seeing what MLB does in the pink socks, pink batting gloves, wristbands, bats. The fact that they've incorporated it into, the hats and everything with the pink under the brim, pink around the logo. Like, it's the best, man. It's the best. Mama, I love you. And don't go chasing curveballs.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Happy birthday to Papa Corwin.
Hey, there we go.
Happy birthday, Dad. There's every now and then we get some overlap, like you were talking about. The day moves around a little bit, so some days it falls on the same day. So big day for the Corwin parents. So my love to them. I love them both, and again, shout out to all you mothers out there. We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.